and I hope both speakers are available. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Rahali. I'm working as a managed fellow, so I'm honored to be with you today, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our 241 consecutive weekly webinar hosted by Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship. The Managed Center for Innovation and Agripreneurship has been at the forefront of agriculture innovation, hosting weekly webinars without interruption for 240 consecutive weeks. These sessions have been served as a catalyst for knowledge exchange, networking, and transformation in the agriculture entrepreneurship landscape. What begins as an initiative to support emerging entrepreneurs has evolved into a powerful platform that has reshaped numerous agriculture ventures across India. As a center of excellence in agribusiness incubation operating under the esteemed Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, Manesia has established itself as a corner institution in the agriculture entrepreneurship ecosystem. Our impact extends far beyond numbers. We have nurtured and guided 940 entrepreneurs, each with unique vision for transforming agriculture. Successfully supported the establishment and growth of 468 innovative startups across diverse agriculture sectors. What truly distinguishes Manasi is our holistic approach to entrepreneurship development. We understand that every entrepreneur who walks through our doors carries not just a business idea, but a dream with the potential to transform lives. Our commitment extends beyond business incubation. We are dedicated to nurturing visions that contribute to the agriculture sustainability, rural employment, farmer prosperity, and national food security. So, as part of Saturday webinar series, we are currently running a special segment on government schemes for agri-startups. So far, we have covered RKVY-RAFTAAR scheme, Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, and Mudra loans for agriculture activities, and government schemes for young agri graduates. So today we'll be discussing another crucial topic, that is Biotechnology Ignition Grant Scheme, fostering the generation of ideas with the commercialization. So to introduce these topics, we are joined by a distinguished panel of esteemed speakers whose experience and expertise will illuminate the opportunities and pathways the schemes offer to the entrepreneurs. So it's truly honor to introduce them shortly. We are today's session speaker today. Let me call my colleague Aravind to introduce our first speaker for today's session.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. This is Arvind Singh Rao from Team Manage CIA. It is my pleasure to introduce a truly inspiring leader in India's innovation and startup ecosystem, Ms. Taranjit Kaur, who currently serving as Senior Manager Entrepreneurial Development at BIREC. With nearly 14 years of rich experience, ma'am has been at the forefront of catalyzing startup growth, driving inclusive innovation, and nurturing entrepreneurial ecosystem across the country. As the lead for the Biotechnology Ignition Grant, she has played a pivotal role in empowering over 1,000 startups across diverse sectors, including biotechnology, medical technology, and agricultural technology. Her impact extends for beyond funding. She has been instrumental in designing nation innovation initiative, strengthening regional ecosystem, especially in region like Northeast India, and support women-led innovation. She has also a strong advocate in international collaboration, bringing a global perspective through her association with the U.S. Department of State prestigious international visitor leadership program. Her passion for building strong connection and creating meaningful opportunities make her a true inspiration in the startup landscape. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us on such a short notice for today's session. With this short introduction of ma'am, I would like to hand over this session to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Arvind. And it was not a short introduction. Well, thank you so much for introducing me to our panel members as well as our attendees here. Yes, I'm Taranjit Kaur. I am Senior Manager for Entrepreneurship Development at BIREC, and I'm also Program Lead for Biotechnology Ignition Grant. And thank you for having me here to speak about the funding opportunities available at BIREC, especially for agri entrepreneurs. So give me a moment. I'll share my slides with you and just. Can you please confirm if it's visible
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
and in the slide share mode?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So yes, I'm here to speak about what are the funding opportunities available at BIREC, especially for agri entrepreneurs. So let's first understand, just give me a minute. I'm not. Is it moving?
No, it's not moving, ma'am.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's not moving.
Yeah. Once
I
you exit and do that again.
Yes, I'll do that again. Is it moving
Yeah.
now?
Now it's moving, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So let's first understand what BIREC is. So BIREC is Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. It's known as BIREC. It is a Government of India enterprise and a Section 8 not-for-profit company set up by Department of Biotechnology in 2012 under Ministry of Science and Technology to act as a central agency to empower, enable, accelerate, and strengthen the biotech innovation ecosystem in India. So it provides support not only to startups, to individual entrepreneurs, to medium and large scale industries, to facilitate and help them taking high risk innovation and develop innovative, affordable products to address the unmet needs of our country. So, if we talk about biotechnology as per BIREC's definition, so it is actually quite broad sector for us. It includes healthcare, industrial biotechnology, agriculture, and allied areas, waste management, sanitation, and clean energy. So, for us, the definition of biotechnology is quite broad. It includes everything that is, that is linked to life sciences. And we understand the challenges that a biotech sector startup faces. It actually, the biotech sector is actually investment heavy. It comes with high risk. The success rate is actually very low. It has a very long gestation period. It takes around 7 to 10 years to for an idea to see the light of the day. And but yes, of course, it comes with high reward. Once you get the success, the reward, the level of satisfaction is unmatchable. It's quite high. And how do we do that? So if you look at the arrow that is represented here, so this actually shows the product development cycle. Starting from ideation, you have an idea. Starting from ideation, idea curation, then you have an idea, proof of concept, early stage development, late stage development, including all the validation before you hit the market. So this arrow actually represents, the whole product development cycle. And BIREC has specifically institutionalized a scheme for each and every step. If you'll see, we have EUI and Satare scheme for idea curation, for idea to taking it to POC, we have BIG, then we have SIBRI, then we have CRS. So there are different schemes that are available at BIREC. We also understand the importance of equity exposure to our startup, early equity exposure. For that, we have seed fund and leap fund available, so that that gives a credibility to the startup and to attract more private investments from angel investors or venture capitalists. So what we do actually, we create entrepreneurship awareness across country through our evangelization workshop. One such workshop is this only. We have funding options available either in the form of grant or in the form of equity. We have created incubation structure across the country that gives access to high-end equipment, mentor support, and so many other facilities. We also provide platforms for recognition nationally as well as globally. And if we talk about all the schemes here, this is where the BIG comes into picture at ideation to proof of concept stage. I'll speak about BIG in my upcoming slides. And if I talk about the funding quantum available at each stage, so this shows it starts from 15 lakhs and goes up till 7 CR through ACE funds. So we have 15 lakh of fellowship, 50 lakh grant in it, 30 lakh of equity exposure. So different kind of quantum funding is available at BIREC for different stages. And what we have done in the past 12 years since the inception of BIREC, we have created incubation centers across the country. Around 100 incubation centers across the country have been bio incubation centers have been set up by BIREC with a space of 9 lakh per square feet available. And we have engaged more than 15 lakh students and entrepreneurs through our evangelization workshop, mentorship workshop, and many other things. And we have supported more than the number is now increased. We have supported more than 5,000 startups and entrepreneurs through our different schemes. And we have also enabled these startups by de-risking the initial investment. They have been able to raise the follow-on funding. The number has actually gone quite up now from 5,500 CR. Now it's, I think, more than 10,000 CR by only 150 startups. And we have forged national as well as international partnerships with like-minded organizations. We have supported more than 400 academic institutions, and we have created more than 35,000 of high-skilled jobs through our different schemes and partnerships available. So this is the kind of impact that BIREC has created over the past 12 years of its existence. And if I talk about the incubation centers, because it's going to be the anchoring point, it's going to be the launch pad for a startup to, initially that they need the space, they need the high-end equipment, and they need various other facilities that cannot be available, that cannot be availed by them because of high cost involved in. So we have created 95 incubation centers. These centers, some centers are domain specific, have specialized common access infrastructure. They provide mentorship support and networking support. To our incubation centers, we have covered 21 states and four union territories, including Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. And if I talk about the agri-specific incubation centers, so BIREC has supported, BIREC has created 20 incubation centers that are specific for, agriculture, agri-tech startups. They can avail the facilities in these 20 incubation centers. The list is also available at BIREC website, and it can be shared by my fellow friends here, by Arvind, or I have shared the presentation with them, so you can take the list from them too. And if I talk about Biotechnology Ignition Grant, this is the flagship scheme of BIREC. It was conceptualized in 2012 to provide support to innovative ideas and help them establish proof of concept for their innovative ideas. In BIG, we actually provide granting support 50 lakhs for a period of 18 months. And till the last call, BIG was available to individual entrepreneurs as well and startups too. But now we are changing the eligibility criteria for Biotechnology Ignition Grant. And the scheme is implemented by 8 of our BIG partners. They are spread across the country. These big partners are actually very mature bio-incubation centers as well. And under BIG, we support innovations in medical devices, drug and drug delivery, drug discovery, diagnostic, industrial biotechnology, agriculture, secondary agriculture, and waste management. So these areas are covered under BIG. So through BIG, actually, we have created a pool of first generation entrepreneurs. You can see the dots in our Indian map. So these are the areas from where we have received applications for support under BIG. So we have actually covered 38 aspirational districts. Majority of the Indian parts have been covered with BIG. BIG aspirants coming, from across the nation. And, surprisingly, we actually have reached to our tier 2 and tier 3 cities that are the deeper pocket of our country. And yes, we used to receive applications from individual entrepreneurs. More than 60% applications were coming from individual entrepreneurs. But the good thing about BIG is when the project is supported, these individual entrepreneurs then able to create their own startup, and most of them actually started their startups before the end of their projects. And as I mentioned before, that the BIG scheme is implemented through 8 of our BIG partners. These are our 8 BIG partners: IKP Knowledge Park in Hyderabad, KIT at Bhubaneswar, FITT at IIT Delhi, SIIC at IIT Kanpur, SIGN at IIT Bombay, CCamp at Bangalore, Venture Center at Pune, AID Anam at Hyderabad. And the other fellow speaker is from IKP Hyderabad only. She'll speak more about the success stories of BIG and what kind of support BIG partners provide. I can briefly tell you that they actually provide end-to-end hand-holding required for any startup to start their project. They create the awareness about BIG scheme. They help entrepreneurs to write the perfect proposal for BIG. They provide mentoring support, may it be business, may it be technical, may it be regulatory advice. They provide platform for different kind of connects with investors, with other peers. They monitor their projects throughout and help them with any revision if required during their BIG tenure. They provide networking opportunities. So kudos to our BIG partners for helping our innovators not only before they get the BIG support, even after they graduated, they get graduated from BIG. And who are eligible for BIG now? As I mentioned, that individual entrepreneurs were also supported under BIG, but now the eligibility has been revised, and a startup or LLP that has been registered under Indian company, right? They are only eligible to apply for BIG, and the incorporation date for that startup and LLP should not be earlier than 5 years. The company or LLP, they should have their in-house R&D facility that is functionable and adequate to execute the project. If it's not available with the company, it's mandatory for them to get incubated at any incubation center across the country. It's not mandatory for them to choose our BIREX out of 100 Bionest incubation centers of BIREX. They can select any incubation centers across the country. And once we receive the proposal, this is the evaluation process that is followed under BIG. All the proposals that we receive, they go through the eligibility check. For example, the age of the startup and the suitability of the project under BIG. All the eligible proposals are then subjected to online review by subject matter experts. At least 3 experts per proposal is assigned to individual proposals. Recommended proposals are then recommended applicants then are invited for face-to-face presentation before technical expert panel, and if required, a final selection committee is organized known as Ethics Committee that recommends the proposal for support under BIG, following by the announcement of BIG. And these are the parameters that we look for in any BIG proposal. There should be an unmet need. They should have a value proposition, and their proposed solution should actually be differentiated from already existing products or technologies available in the market. The idea that is being proposed, that should be feasible to pursue. And we also look for what kind of team members are there in their team, and we also check for commercialization potential. This is the this is the criteria that is a must for BIG proposal. Like R&D proposals are not supported under BIG. Any innovative idea that must have a commercialization potential to be supported under BIG. This is just a snapshot of products that were developed with the support of BIG. These product actually came just with as just an idea under BIG, and this is how they got evolved, and these products are now available in the market. If I talk about success stories of, there are hundreds of success stories of BIG now, just to mention a few, in different sectors. If I talk about drug discovery, so Bugworks is there. And then if I talk about cancer screening, Nirama is there. If I talk about agri-specific startups, so Bioprime Agri Solution is there. They have recently raised Series A fund for their available solution. They have reached out to more than 1 lakh farmers and helped them help them grow the crops that are actually resilient with fluctuation in weather, temperature, or water stream. So these are the kind of projects that we have supported. And I understand that many of the startups might have already crossed the proof of concept stage and might be older than 5 years. So they can also reach out for our different schemes that are available at BIREC. One is SBIR, other one is VIPP. So SBIR is actually the first biotech funding scheme that was launched by DBT in 2005, before the inception of BIREC, to promote public-private partnership. The scheme actually facilitates early stage research undertaken by industry, startup, or LLP, either alone or in collaboration with academia in the field of biotechnology. So if you have already crossed the proof of concept stage, or if you have crossed the age that is eligible for BIG, SBIR can be your go-to scheme. There is no upper total cost that is being, no ceiling with regard to the total cost of the project. But yes, of course, 30% of the project cost has to be contributed by the company itself. Then there is VIPP. It is for the late stage innovation that are, for validation, scaling up, and commercialization of high risk innovations. And again, there is no ceiling for the total cost of the project. But yes, of course, equal contribution would be required from the industry representation. Then we also have a dedicated scheme to, to promote faculty entrepreneurship. It's known as SPACE, that is promoting academic research and conversion to, entrepreneurs. So there are two components of PACE. One is AIR and another one is CRS. So this is again dependent on the stage of the proposal. If you are at early stage and you are a faculty entrepreneur, AIR is the go-to scheme. If your proposal has already been validated at an early stage, you already have developed a prototype, then you need to bring a collaborator for your project. As an industry partner can be a collaborator. Then CRS can be your go-to scheme. We also understand that any startup or any industry, any company, they not only need the funding, the funding for their, project to, get transformed into a product. They also need regulatory advice and, what kind of regulatory pathways are required for them to follow to, so for them, we actually organize this Biotech First Hub. That is a kind of facilitation unit set up by BIREC to address the queries of startup, entrepreneurs, researcher, incubation center, SMEs. So we actually invite representation from DBT, CDSCO, NIB, so all kind of regulatory body representations are available there. They take the queries from our innovators every first Friday of the month. So this kind of support is also available at BIREC. We also provide and facilitate IP filing for our innovations. For any kind of IP help required. Then we also provide platforms for national and international showcasing. We have partnered with US, UK, Finland, Sweden, Korea, Israel, Singapore, and Estonia for their flagship events that happens annually, and we provide support to our innovators to go there and showcase their product or technology and get the exposure in the international world. We also have project management units that are set up at BIOTech for different kinds of mission. We have National Biopharma Mission, Grand Challenges India, INSEPI, Mission COVID Suraksha. Even Make in India cell for biotech sector is also housed at BIOTech. We also organizes, India's premier event, flagship event. We call it Global Bio India. It's an annual event wherein we also see participation from different countries, and it's a mega event where we provide opportunities for our innovators to exhibit their product and technology to the world. And we could not have done this without without our partners. BIOTech cannot do it all alone. So we have partnered with various organizations, like-minded organizations, with whom we feel we have synergies, we have the common goal. So we have partnered with all the organizations to build and nurture our Indian innovation ecosystem, especially in the biotech sector. So with this, I'll rest and I'll stop here. This is my email ID. You can reach out to me for any query, for any kind of help, for any kind of facilitation that you need. I'll be happy to help. And I'm available here for the Q&A session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful session, and thank you so much for introducing us to the BIRAC, which is nurturing innovation from ideation to commercialization. And you also explained how BIRAC is providing incubation support and mentorship, and what are the funding opportunities available, and what are all the incubation centers, and all. You also explained the biotechnology ignition grant and its impact across the nation, and what are all the hand-holding support you are providing, and its application process, and the few success stories of the startups. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's really a wonderful presentation. So the participants, if you have any questions, you can keep in chat box, and also you can raise your hand. So the questions will be taken up after the second speaker presentation. So Taranjit ma'am, kindly be in line. We will take up the questions after the second speaker presentation. So to introduce our second speaker, let me call my colleague Sonam to introduce our second speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sonam, and we are happy to welcome Ms. Apurva Bhatnagar, Senior Manager at IKP Knowledge Park. With over 9 years of experience across research, innovation, and startup ecosystem, she has played a key role in supporting early-stage ventures through funding grants and strategic partnerships. Ms. Apurva has worked with leading institutes like BIRAC Center for Cellular and Molecular Reform, CCAM, and IKP, and continues a dynamic force in enabling innovation and entrepreneurship in India. Let's warmly welcome Ms. Apurva Bhatnagar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sonam. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, so thank you, Manage team, for inviting us for this session. I would like you to probably start my presentation. So Ms. Taran has actually taken us from the very strong innovation ecosystem BIRAC has been providing to all partners who are implementing one or the other scheme provided by BIRAC. IKP being one of the BIG partner and implementation partner of her other schemes through other organization has been a key a key factor for evangelizing the startups and innovators across India and globally. And I would take you through the important components of grant writing, which is applicable across all the grants, be it for research or be it for investors. So I would request Sonam to please share the screen, and I will just go through one by one.
Yes, ma'am. Let's share.
Loading, ma'am. It will take a few seconds to load.
No problem.
Is it visible now, ma'am?
Yes, it's full screen also. Shall I
Okay.
go ahead if it's okay?
Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead.
Okay, so again, good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending a session on Saturday. I understand that it's been a really important session that you all are there, and thank you, Manage team, for uh, being there and supporting this cause of grant and innovation funds. So I am Apurva Bhatnagar, and thank you for the good introduction. I am a senior manager at IKP and uh, handle BIG and some of the seed fund programs and some accelerator programs at IKP. So IKP Knowledge Park is, if you can go to next slide, please. It's a 200-acre campus, science and technology park, and an incubator at Shamirpet, Hyderabad. We have another incubator, which is more of a hardware maker space for fabrication and prototype development for medical devices and diagnosis, which is in Bangalore. So far, through multiple funding programs, incubation programs, and acceleration, IKP has been able to support 900 plus companies and innovation projects, which includes large and mid-sized company who have established their R&D and manufacturing capability centers at IKP campus. They are from across 9 countries. And so far, 12,000 plus innovators across 120 Indian cities have been supported through IKP various programs. And when I'm saying programs, these are with the support of a few funding agencies as DST, DBT BIREC, USAID, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Startup Karnataka, and so on and so forth. Next, please. So, in a broad spectrum, we provide infrastructure support, which I mentioned as a land and incubate, and then as an incubator, the basic lab facilities. Supporting an innovation ecosystem includes funding, mentorship, IP, and we have our own global regulatory forum also to handhold the startup at various stages. And we have an advisory and consultancy as well. Next, please. So, like I was mentioning before, there are 12,000 plus innovators across 120 cities. IKP has supported through various programs, among which 194 are funded by BIREC and supported by IKP Knowledge Park as BIG partner. And when I say supportive, that means when Taran was also mentioning that hand-holding from writing an application to preparing for the mock presentation, having to connect with other partners or collaborators for or even the third party validation to even after the grant awarding the grant, there is a monitoring support and connection provision of those connection later on. So I will not go into impact. If we can skip, it's more of IKPs and funding agencies altogether have invested 485 crore plus, which has been multiplied to the 4,000 crore corpus as the follow-on fund or even revenue. If you can go to next slide, please. So coming to the section of or related to BIG, grant writing is, and according to Professor A.H. Mayer, it's not a science per se, it's more of a marketing of science. So many professor and academician and being a scientist, we will not like the sentence, but it is what it is. We have to understand that how maybe the solution is deep tech, maybe it's a breakthrough research, but unless it is showing an impact on society or a revenue generating or a translational capability, the funders or funding agencies, the evaluators, it will not be able to attract. So next slide, please. So it should be able to, it should be compelling, saleable, and make an impact. If we look through the grant process, we have understood so far, and it's a published data also, that what is the success rate of grants which are being awarded? It's 7 to 10%. And why the 20% got rejected is because of eligibility check. So it's a foremost requirement for any aspirant to even look for the funding agency beforehand, that what is their project, Is the funding agency's scope of work or say mandates are aligned with your project? First thing first, and then what are the stage of the PI they are supporting? Like Taran mentioned earlier, individual startups have been supported, but now it's mostly startups. So you have to look through the documents very carefully and see if you and your team are eligible to apply for the project. 50% get rejected during the review process. Of course, makes sense because, and the reason for rejection is non-compliance. Again, it's not matching with the funding agency's requirement, program mismatch, and lack of supporting data. So lack of supporting data is becoming more and more a reason of rejection, because if you have, it's important to establish the feasibility of your research. So even if you have any lab data, any publication supporting your innovation, it's always given a preference because it brings the credibility to your research. Next, please. Yeah, so I'll go one by one and covering all these components of the grants, and these are pretty much common in all the grant writing application and investor's pitch. One addition or deletion may be there, but it's common across all. So I'll go one by one in my next slides. Can you please go to the next? So title is a very important thing. If you see the red color font title and the green color font, I hope you understand which one is giving you more clarity on what is the proposed project on. And without wasting much time and looking for answer, I would go that the green one, of course, is giving and able to catch reviewers' attention in 1 second, that what is the PI, what is the proposal, and what they are trying to do. Next, please. Introduction. This is mostly limited by words also. So we have to be very careful what we are writing in introduction. So for example, 200 words are very common word limit for introduction part. So make sure that what is the exact gap you have identified, and say the problem or say unmet need you have identified, what is your solution doing to solve it, what are the other conventional solution, and which are the key or crisp points which they are not doing and you are able to solve, and what is the current stage of your solution, at what stage it is, and what you're proposing to achieve. So it's important to make a crisp paragraph on the introduction covering all these points. And I will share the slides, so you may not need, I mean, you can focus on the conversation rather than taking the pictures and all. So I'll share I'm sure our colleague at Manage will be able to share the presentation. Next is value proposition, differentiation, and competitive landscape. If you have noticed, there are evaluation criteria mentioned in BIG also, which includes these 2 points, value proposition and competitive landscape. And this you will find in every investor pitch also. And these look like a business jargon, but they are jotting down to one single point, which says what is the unique thing you are doing which others cannot do, or maybe. So if you see in the bracket in value proposition, it's a combination of benefit you are given to the customer. Is it cheaper, faster, it has less turnaround time, much sensitivity, much efficiency, and so on and so forth. So these are the main parameters which you can measure your innovation or proposal on, that what are the key benefits. It's maybe a combination or a single most important factor which is a key gap currently in the market. Then comes the novelty and differentiation. So IP plays important role. It's not mandatory, but if you have it, plays it strengthen your proposal. So how the product is different from existing product is the differentiation. Is it cheaper, faster again from the existing one, or is it solving the key market gap which nobody could able to solve? Or if you say there is a huge market in agriculture, we have diversity of crops, diversity of farmers, diversity. It's an agriculture driven country. So even if there are solution available, can you capture other market, or do you have any market which you can sell to? And there may be a different weather condition, there are different problem. So which area which part you are taking into consideration and providing solution for. So for example, I couldn't put agree, but I have covered in a case study. Each point I will, align with the case study. But here I've given iPhone's example that if you want to position in the market, iPhone is for premium customer who would go for the style, functionality, and user-friendly feature. So you can position your product accordingly. Not everybody has to buy it, but is there any segment which will come later? It is B2B, is it B2C? So you have to identify which one are the major customer who would like to have your product or technology in use. Next, please. Yeah, so here I represented competitive landscape in a tabulated form, and I would suggest all the grant aspirant to even use this for your own benefit as well. That what is your product and technology as compared to the conventional solution available, and what are the features you are providing, what features they have. They may not be necessarily, I mean, some features are complementary. So it may not make much sense, but what are the differentiating factors here? It's important for you to also study and come, maybe you can improve some of the features. So here maybe yes or no is a good way to represent, but if it's a quantitative, it will of course reflect credibility, and that it will show that researchers have gone to a length to cover this aspect. So, like I mentioned, team is also an important part, very important part of this venture. If you're in entrepreneurship or even grant writing, so PI is the one who usually, write the proposal, but you should have technical as well as business strength to it. If it's BIG specifically, the business aspect also play a major role, that whatever is or you are proposing is feasible, scalable, and can make a revenue out of it. So team member, you should choose in terms of subject matter expert, business matter. You don't have to have permanent team members for it. You may take an advisory, you may keep a scientific advisor for certain aspects, but technical and business is important to have. And collaborators, like I mentioned, when you do the exercise of identifying the funding agency for your project, at the same time you have to identify the collaborators also, who will be those collaborators either for validation or for adoption or for anything. It's important to identify that in the beginning itself. And advisors and mentor, it's important to keep their consent letter and to tell them and to keep them informed what you are doing. Next, please. So when you write a proposal, it's important that any objective or milestone you are mentioning has to be in a quantified manner and detailed. So I couldn't give very specific example here for Agri, but I've given a diagnostics example that, so for example, I am improving the sensitivity. It's a very generic thing, but I'm saying that in the first 2-3 months, I'll be able to improve my sensitivity of the kit to 10 microgram per ml. That is what brings the attention of evaluator, that you have done some exercise and you know what is the quantity you're going to achieve, or is it even achievable or not. It might not be, you might not achieve it per se, but your estimation and calculation should be able to reflect how you arrive at that number. Technical detail, it's very important to mention all technical details, all the data you have in your lab, whether it's crude, raw. They would like to see what you have done so far, any background data or publication, whether it's yours or others. You can cite that publication to establish the feasibility of the proposal. Contingency plan, so you say that I am still trying, but there are three ways to achieve one objective. Maybe if the NGS is not working, can I do with the PCR? If PCR is not working, can I do with other methods? So these contingency plans should be ready with you before applying for the grant. Next, please. Budget, again, a very important part and mostly miss out part from research grant proposals. So if I have just mentioned one very vague example from one proposal, and if you see, they have written in very detail. So they got this BIG grant only because of that budget planning. Because if you see every item number, screw, even screwdriver, and each equipment was very well calculated and identified at the beginning itself that how much money they need for what objective and till what level they. So it's important to have that kind of detail with you. It may not be so accurate, but it is important or good enough to have an estimate of how your proposal budget will look like. So for BIG, it has majorly recurring, non-recurring budget heads, consumable, equipment, HR, and IP and travel. These are major heads for BIG. When you fill up the form, these are the heads you have to distribute your budget. And there is, of course, a maximum limit of each budget. So you have to see carefully the documents what BIG mentioned, and you can take help of either partner or your incubator, the organization, which can help identify those things. Next slide, please. Has it gone? Because I cannot see it. Has it changed from budget?
No, ma'am, it's still on budget slide. I don't know who is moving the slides. Arvind, are you moving the slides?
Yes, ma'am, I'm trying. It's not moving.
Could you just close it and do it 1 second then?
Yeah, right. It did. It got changed. It's visible to me. I hope it's visible to all in
Yes, yes,
its
ma'am.
case study, right? Okay. So what I told about agriculture, and I took specifically this example. It's pretty much checking all the points which I have told earlier. So this is one of these are the two students from Indian Institute of Horticulture Research who were doing a MSc dissertation, came to IKP and said the idea is based on attracting fruit flies who's creating a menace in cucumber and mango field. Next, please. So this was the problem identification, which we say as TRL1 in scientific manner, that they identified the literature supporting to it and what they have observed in their lab, and based on which they did the back end research, is that when there was a fruit fraction specifically from cucumber which was attracting a very specific species of fruit flies, female fruit flies. So if you have any connection and understanding that generally the traps are made for the male flies, but the female fruit flies are not captured, or it captures every kind of species, which is harmful for ecosystem. So they have identified the problem of the fruit fly menace, and the solution was that it is a particular fraction of the cucumber is attracting a particular species of the female fruit flies. So that is the solution they identified. So they did the competitive landscape and understood there are different type of traps available, but how they work, capacity. So they have done the competitive landscaping of this, and when they, and this I will probably correlate in my next slide, that when they identified, sprayed, and understood that this is actually helpful in increasing the crop yields, and that global export quality, that I will come and detail tell you in detail later. So what they have done and what IKP has suggested them to understand, that it's a very crude data. If you can see, they have just put on the sprayed on the filter paper and taken a 3-acre land and did this trial to understand how their product is functioning. And they were, next slide please, and they were amazed to see that this is the data they have captured very early on, that from 3 acre the average yield recovered from farmers was 12 tons per acre, and it was increasing the yield, additional income was there, and because there is no use of pesticide, they were actually able to have the crop and fruit of export quality. That's why I said the export I will tell later. So this is the first data they have given to us after 3 or 4 months of research. Then again, when they came up with data, they were thinking how to apply for big, what to do with, how to protect the solution. And if you see, by this time they have already done this very crude trial of understanding how their their solution will impact the crop yield. Next slide, please. So we have our IKP Prime office, which helps the innovators with the IP and legal filing. They have suggested that maybe this can be a design of your solution, which is, if you say, a very generic trap. And what they had to work on in BIG is a prolonged release of the formulation and its sustainability. So of course, the farmer cannot change the formulation and the strap every now and then. So they had to come to a mechanism of prolonged release or sustained release for of a period of time, and the shelf life has to be more. So the Prime team suggested them to look for different type of IPs to file the patent claim and this design part, and it came out really well. Next slide, please. And now they have already sold the product, or say established their farms and product units in 6 countries with 34 crores revenue and
I'm
follow-on
sorry
funding.
to interrupt. We'll finish within 1 or 2 minutes so
Yes,
that we
it's
can have
last.
time for presentation.
It's the last example. So I just wanted to tell that how the problem is being identified, the data is collected, the IP is formalized, and now with the help of these funding agency, they've been able to secure 34 plus crores. And this is, I think, where I can stop. Maybe I will not go for the next example, but yeah, this is it from my
Yeah.
side.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing very important information on grant proposal writing and the importance of grant writing, and what are all the components of grant proposal and how to write grant writing, starting from identification of gap to, and also you have also shared the few important case studies. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. So the participants, if you have any questions, you can keep in chat box, and also you can raise your hand so that both the speakers are available now. Now we can take up few questions here. So yeah, I think Arvind, you can take out this presentation. Yeah. So the Rakesh Priyadarshi is asking how to start up career in the field of biotechnology agri sector. Taranjit ma'am or Apurva ma'am, anyone can take up this question.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, Dr. Rahane?
Yes, how to start up career in the field of biotechnology agri sector.
Okay. So I think we are now, in times where funding options are available, holistic support from the government, from the ecosystem enablers are available. So I think this is a perfect time to start a career in, startup ecosystem. But of course, you will have to identify the problem statement. You will have to identify the gaps that are, existing in our, agri area. May it be, in any machines that are available in agri sector. May it be, seed related, soil related. So they will have to identify the existing gap and come up with a proposed solution. It could be hypothetically at this stage, but yes, they'll have to come up with that.
Thank you, ma'am. Apurva ma'am, you want to add anything to this?
No, I think Taran has very rightly said about you have to identify what you want to do, and gap analysis is really important to start anything.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So yeah, a few people have raised the hand. My team, please help me in unmuting them, Jaishree and Nitish. Meanwhile, I'll take up a few more questions by the time you are unmuting them. So Yash Takare is asking, hello ma'am, my innovation or belong to the cordyceps mushroom. I want to produce new product in our India. So am I eligible for this?
Yes, definitely. We already have supported, I think, 2 or 3 projects. Correct me, Apurva. One is from Northeast. One is by
Yeah.
Master Bundles company. I'm forgetting the name. So they are working on
Even
cordyceps
the
itself.
Priyanjit, yeah, there was Innobotech also working on cordyceps, and yeah.
Yes, we do have supported cordyceps production in the past. So yes, of course, you can apply.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So Dr. Atul is asking, please tell about what is the project execution challenges. I think Apurva ma'am, you can take up this question.
Project execution is definitely will be there. So many challenges will be there. But first, it's better to chart out, like I mentioned, what is your project aiming to do, what are the funding agencies, and who can be your collaborator, and where you will validate. It's important for an innovation grant to see that your solution is credible enough and validated by some accredited labs or something. There, most innovator face challenges, from lab to take it to the field. There is a most understandable gap we have seen. So maybe to identify and associate with the universities, with the hubs who are actually working in this field. So it's better to associate them within the beginning to plan your project. I hope this answers.
Yes, ma'am. And then, yeah, Jayashree Banj, he raised the hand. Usha ma'am, did we unmute him? Jayashree Banj, I think he want to ask some question. He or she, I don't know. Jayashree, are you there? Jayashree or Nitish, anyone?
Hello, can you hear
Yeah,
me?
hello, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, my query is we want to develop, probiotic, live probiotic solutions to heal arthritis, which is an autoimmune disorder. So basically, the whole point is about to solving the molecular mimicry, which leads our immune system to attack its own joints. So the whole experience so far is that if we heal the gut, then there is a proper reduction in the painful symptoms, and some patients they actually become pain free and medicine free. So we want to develop this solution. So we were thinking of applying to the big grant.
Karan, can I answer?
Yes, please.
Yes, so I would say, sir, that whatever you can prove scientifically and having an impact on life and health of plant and animal health.
Please unmute your audio, please. Whoever, yeah. Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, sir, if you can scientifically prove those mimicking method and therapeutic value, and it's having an impact on life, health of plant or animal or human, that is eligible for BIG.
Ma'am, the thing is, see, we are not scientists. So, but we have other scientists who have done the entire research, and their research papers are available. What we have done is that we have implemented it practically, basically. And we have correlated the results with your blood test of patients, which are the inflammatory markers called either CRP and ESR. So there is a proper reduction in the values of ESR and CRP, and the patient gets a lot of relief and they recover. So we have done by changing the food. Essentially, we have changed the entire diet. And due to that, these effects have been getting. But if we also add probiotics to this food, changing your food, then the effects will be far better, far faster. And today, for arthritis, there is no
Understandable.
solution.
Yeah, just to add on, if you look at the guidelines that are available at BIREC website for BIG scheme, we haven't said anywhere that the project leader or project investigator must be a scientist, or we haven't even said that they should have graduation in science itself. So for us, the basic eligibility criteria for a project leader is to be a graduate. It can be in any discipline, but yes, of course, those the other required strengths should be available in your team, and you all can apply as a team, and one can be identified as a project leader. You'll also have to satisfy the basic eligibility criteria that there should be a startup registered under Companies Act, and you can apply to BHG then. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And then, yeah. So Nitish raises a hand. Can we take up any question from him? Nitish. Nitish, are you there? Nitish and Jayashree, please go ahead with your questions and kindly speak loudly. Yeah, okay.
Take their questions offline.
Yeah.
You can ask them
Yes,
to.
yes. Rakesh is asking how to file biotech startup in agriculture. What is the criteria, eligible business products and filling term and conditions, any supporting technical team, etc. Yeah.
Go ahead, Apurva.
So I feel, Mr. Rakesh, that there are different funding agencies, different requirements from each. So maybe you can see where your proposal lies and understand the requirement of funding agency. Maybe there your incubator, and if you need help beyond that, we can help you in identifying that. But it's important for you to align your project with the funding agency first and understand what is the scope of or mandate from their side.
Registering a startup, I think it doesn't, require you to be, there are no different procedure to register a startup in Agritech or,
Yes, yes, there is no separate
yeah,
procedure.
appliances are more or less similar for all.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I hope we have answered all the questions. So yeah, it's 12 o'clock. I think we need to end the session. So thank you all participants for your questions. So still, if you have any questions, you can reach out to the speakers. The speaker details are shared in the chat box. And also, if you miss any part of today's webinar and would like to revisit some key insights of the program, the YouTube link to watch the full session is also provided in the chat box. So go and watch it. And to stay updated on upcoming events, programs, and exciting opportunities from Manage, be sure to follow us on our social media platforms. Stay connected. And also, we are thrilled to announce that the registration are now open for the Manage Agri Eureka, the national level Agri Innovation Business Plan Challenge. So, like the link for the application is given in the chat box, and the last date for the application is 25th May. Along with this, also cohort 13 applications are now open. So, interested students, agripreneurs, and startups across the India, if you have an innovative idea, just go and apply for it. The last date for the application is June 15th. Before we conclude, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to both the speakers, Taranjit ma'am and Apurva ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights today. And thank you all the participants for your questions. And also, I want to thank my director, Dr. Saravanan Raj sir, whose unwavering support have been instrumental in making this 241-week webinar journey success. And also, my thanks also go out to the entire Manacia team for your efforts in organizing today's session. So finally, don't forget to share your feedback. The feedback link is given in the chat box. And also, of course, do register for the upcoming webinar. See you next week with another exciting topic. Until then, take care and stay inspired. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am.